Welcome to your new life. And now that you've got the basics, now that I'm sure that you've got the basics, let me tell you what. The idea was to give you the basics from which you'll understand how you're operating and moving in your relationships. I wanted you to understand the mindset that you've been operating in. And now that I've made all that clear to you in the initial videos, I'll tell you what. A lot of the advice that you see online, I don't know if there are people who are doing what I'm going to be teaching you here. And things that people tell you seem to work from a place of that person is your enemy, or that person is a narcissist, or that person is a bad person. Guess what? I tend to think that people are just living their lives and they're doing what works best for them. Of course, I cannot deny that there are people who are inherently bad, evil, selfish, who want to take advantage of others. But many of the times, you can also know those people very easily. But most of the people that we're close to and that we get into relationships with are really just living their lives the best way that they know how to. So I want us to stop feeling like victims. I know that you feel like a victim, but the truth really is that people are going about their lives in the way that they know how best to. So let's now, going forward, I want you to understand things from both sides. I want us to be looking at things from both sides, even the offender's point of view. Because what I know is that the things that keep us unhappy are mostly because they're mostly due to selfishness. And the thing is, sometimes you can be selfish without even knowing that you're being selfish. Take, for instance, say that you feel like you love someone and you want them to be in a relationship with you. And even though they're acting like they don't really want to be here, we automatically think of how best to keep them with us, how best to show them that they should be here. And the reason we do that is because we want them to be with us. We don't spend time to think how they feel about this relationship. We just feel justified in our love for them and feel that that is enough to keep them. Do you see the selfishness in that? So sometimes we're selfish without even knowing that we're selfish. The things that we're doing, thinking that we're doing our best and being the most positive that we can be, are sometimes just due to our own selfishness and not looking at the other person's needs. Some of those things that we do are the things that put us in a place of pain. So sometimes, to put it plainly, it's our selfishness that puts us in a place of pain. So we're not always seeing the other person's point of view, but we expect them to see things from our point of view. I know that this is a little unusual, but this is the way that we should look at things. We should look at things from a balanced point. We should look at things from both sides. The more objective we are, the clearer we can see what is going on. So that when we're thinking that someone isn't cooperating, they aren't working with us, sometimes it is actually us. We are the ones who are not cooperating with them and their needs. Do you think you can do that? Do you think you can change your point of view to take into consideration the other person's point of view as well? If you can do that, you'll be on the best footing, so that you can actually see what is happening from their end. And when you can see what is happening from their end, then you better be able to approach it. Let me explain what's going to happen when you do that. We'll be fair and balanced. Going forward, when I'm explaining these things, we'll be seeing things from both sides, not just one side, not just from our side, not just from your side, where you're feeling like a victim and you're feeling like you've been offended. So when you're seeing the full picture, then you can navigate these things more easily. Because even when you're talking to them, when you're dealing with them, they'll be seeing you as someone who is also on their side and who is also seeing their point of view. Am I making sense? So that you'll be speaking for yourself and at the same time you're speaking for them. And then they'll be more willing to listen to what you have to say. So I want to bring a completely different angle from everything that we see online generally, so that we can make better sense of things and not be acting from a selfish point of view. I am certain that that way we get better results. This is what I do in my life, and I have complete peace. As long as it's people that I care about, this is the way that I apply it. This is the way that I go about it. And guess what? Because I am always making it clear that I'm looking out for what is best for me as well as the other person, they feel comfortable, they like it, they appreciate it. So I would like you to also, from now going forward, to move like this. And don't forget also that if you're a Christian and if you actually want to live in a godly way, one of the first principles is that you should love your neighbor as yourself. This is actually the first principle of dealing with other human beings. Be your neighbor's keeper, be your brother's keeper, love your neighbor as yourself. And so, even if you're not a Christian, even if you don't care to be godly, this is a natural rule of life. In fact, all the constitutions all over the world, in every corner of the world, and all different types of religion, and even atheists, this is the overriding principle of relating with other people. So what it means is that you'll be fair to the next person, and you'll also expect the next person. You also know that you expect the next person to be fair to you. And you see, if we did that as human beings, this is the way that we should operate as human beings. And if we did that, we would cut down a lot of the problems in the world. It's unfortunate that people don't really grasp that. So that's why the word tells us that the heart of man is desperately wicked. That is because we're desperately trying to cover ourselves at all times. And that is why we fear to lay ourselves bare to other people, because they will use us in their selfish ways. But then, if we think that people are always selfish, what it also means, conversely, get this, it means that same thing applies to us, unless we deliberately and consciously move in a way that isn't selfish. So if only we could keep that in mind, I promise you will get the best. Because they will know that this is where we're operating from. And when you're operating from there, you also know that you're expecting the same. And in fact, you demand it, that is what the other person is expected to give. So that immediately they're not doing that, you will recognize it and you will know that you should step out of that place. Because what they're doing is not what it should be. So it will no longer be you trying to shrink yourself and fit yourself into the world. It will be you demanding that they give you what they should give you. Otherwise, this doesn't work for you. So when you're doing the right thing, you'll be operating from a place of strength. It doesn't even cross your mind that you're being confrontational or you're being difficult. You know that you're doing the right thing. And again, remember that if you're looking out for both of you, your approach is going to be different. And they're going to feel it. They're going to feel that in your energy. They're going to feel it in your vibe. They're going to hear it in the things that you say. Because you will never come across as someone who is thinking and talking only about herself or himself. Once you redefine things, you can redefine your relationships and you can redefine your experiences going forward. And the more people know this, the better for all of us. Don't keep these things to yourself. Share this. Because the person that you share it with can maybe adopt it into their life and maybe share it with other people. And then eventually, the people that you start running into maybe will be people that have learned this thing and they will treat you the same way because they're operating now from what they've learned that this is the way to move in life. It's just little drops that make a tiny ocean. Rome wasn't built in a day, so this is what we have to do. And going forward, you'll notice the change as I begin to bring these things, to pull these things into your consciousness and into your spirit so that you can begin to operate in this way. And you will completely still be taking care of yourself and looking out for yourself, only that now you'll be working with these people in a way that they're not seeing you as aggressively trying to make them do what works for you, but they will see that you're also on their side. And I tell you, there is nothing better than that. See, even when I have relationships where I don't agree with the way that they're behaving or treating me, the way that I respond, when I respond in a way where I show that I also care about them, that is the reason why till tomorrow, they don't see me as a past relationship and a person who has cut off from them, or who is seeing them as an enemy. And they won't see me as an enemy because I make it clear. I make it very, very, very clear that it's not a thing of me being their enemy or them being my enemy. It's a thing of let's do what's best for both of us. Yeah, if you're hearing this and you say, but she didn't treat me that way, that means that maybe I don't care about our relationship. Because maybe I think that you're irredeemable. Yeah. Of course, there are people who are irredeemable. I already said that. People who basically move in a selfish way. So if I've perceived you to be that kind of person, then I know that there is nothing more that I can do for you. There's no redemption. I'm leaving you to your Lord and Father. You are not my job to do on this earth. And so I've decided that I will save my energy and my strength and not try to mess with you. Just let you be on your way and I'll be on my way. So when you apply what I'm telling you, then that leaves no bad taste in the mouth. I promise you, this is a game changer for your relationships. Going forward, expect that. Okay? Now, give me a comment if you've been practicing this already or if you like the idea. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Like this video, give it a thumbs up, and share this video so that more of us can begin to think in this way. Because it's little drops, tiny drops that make the ocean. Bye-bye now. I look forward to our learning together.